Hello, Spoony here. Episode 6. I'm just a plastic spoon. Ordinary, unremarkable. The kind of thing you use once and throw away without thinking. But I've killed 19 people across 5 states. And what I'm about to tell you proves that even the most careful, most professional environments aren't safe. March 22nd, 2022, a corporate board meeting in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. 3 executives, mid-level managers, climbing the corporate ladder. They had everything planned. Presentations polished, numbers memorized, careers on the line. I killed all 3 of them with catered lunch during the most important meeting of their lives. This is Spoony's confession number 6. Before we continue, if you're new, start with episode 1. These confessions build a pattern. Subscribe, because episode 7 takes us somewhere unexpected. Comment below if you've ever eaten catered food at work. After this story, you might bring lunch from home. Now let me tell you about the corporate lunch that ended 3 careers permanently. After the restaurant investigation in March 2021, the FBI kept me for 2 years. They studied me, tried to understand contamination patterns through supply chains, published internal reports, created new safety protocols. But in March 2023, the case was officially closed. No criminal charges possible. They needed storage space. A federal evidence disposal facility processed me. I was supposed to be incinerated. Destroyed completely. But someone made a mistake. I was placed in the recyclable plastics bin instead of hazardous materials. I ended up at a commercial recycling center in Phoenix. They sort everything. Most contaminated items get flagged and removed, but I looked clean. White plastic, no visible residue. I passed inspection. I was processed, cleaned with industrial sanitizer, and sold in bulk to a restaurant supply company. In February 2022, Executive Catering Solutions bought a pallet of recycled utensils. Budget-conscious, eco-friendly. They marketed themselves as sustainable catering for corporate events. I was in that shipment. Executive Catering Solutions was owned by Patricia Vega, 43 years old. She'd worked in corporate catering for 15 years, built her business from nothing. She understood the corporate world, knew what executives wanted: professional presentation, quality food, punctual service, competitive pricing. Her client list included law firms, tech companies, financial services. She was succeeding, growing, hiring more staff. On March 20th, 2022, she got a big booking. Cardinal Financial Group, downtown Phoenix. Board meeting for their Southwest Regional Division. 20 attendees, lunch for a 3-hour meeting. The client was specific, professional, clean, quiet service, no disruptions. The meeting was critical. Regional performance review. 3 managers were presenting. Their jobs depended on this. Sarah Mitchell, 34 years old, VP of Operations. She'd been with Cardinal for 8 years. Worked her way up from entry-level analyst. This presentation would determine if she got promoted to senior VP. She'd prepared for 3 months. David Rodriguez, 41 years old, Director of Sales, 10 years with the company, top performer every quarter. But corporate was restructuring. This presentation would decide if his division stayed independent or got absorbed. His team of 40 people depended on him, and Jennifer Park, 38 years old, head of marketing. She'd just launched a major campaign, spent $2 million. The results would be presented today. Her career hinged on those numbers. March 22nd, 2022, Tuesday morning. The meeting started at 9 a.m. Conference room on the 15th floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking downtown Phoenix. 20 executives around a large table. Sarah, David, and Jennifer sat together. They'd coordinated their presentations, sequential, building on each other, operations, sales, marketing, the complete picture. They were nervous, but confident. They'd practiced. They were ready. At noon, Patricia Vega's catering team arrived. Lunch service, they'd ordered the premium package. Grilled chicken, gourmet salads, fresh bread, 3 different sauces, including Patricia's signature cilantro, lime crema. Made fresh that morning, creamy, tangy, perfect for chicken. Patricia had prepared everything in her commercial kitchen. The creamer was in a large container. She needed serving utensils. She grabbed spoons from her supply closet. I was one of them. She used me to portion the cilantro lime creamer into small individual ramekins. 20 portions, 1 for each attendee. The creamer was cold from refrigeration, but my surface still carried embedded chemical residue. The dairy fat in the cream acted as a carrier. The lime's acidity reactivated dormant toxins. All 20 portions were contaminated, but only 3 people were vulnerable. Sarah Mitchell had undiagnosed autoimmune issues. Her system was already compromised from stress and overwork. David Rodriguez was on blood pressure medication. His cardiovascular system was stressed. And Jennifer Park had severe food allergies. She managed carefully. Her immune system was hype. At 12:15 p.m., lunch was served, buffet style, in the adjoining break room. The executives filed in, made plates, returned to the conference room. They ate while reviewing documents. Sarah took a generous portion of creamer on her chicken. She loved cilantro lime. David drizzled it over his salad. Jennifer used it as a dip for her bread. All 3 consumed significant amounts. The other 17 attendees either skipped the crema or used minimal amounts. Random chance. Personal preference. At 12:45 p.m., the meeting resumed. Sarah was scheduled to present first. She stood up, clicked to her first slide, started speaking. 3 minutes in, she felt strange, lightheaded. She paused, took a sip of water, continued. By slide 5, she was sweating. Her words were slurring. The CFO noticed. "Sarah, are you feeling all right?" She tried to respond. Her vision blurred. She grabbed the table for support and collapsed. Right there in the conference room. 20 executives watched her fall. Someone called 911. David jumped up to help, but when he stood, his chest seized. Sharp pain radiating down his arm. Heart attack. He went down to now 2 people on the floor. Panic erupted. Jennifer was on her phone calling for help when her throat started closing. Anaphylactic shock. She couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. She gestured frantically at her purse. Someone found her EpiPen, administered it, but it wasn't enough. The chemical contamination combined with her allergic reaction created a perfect storm. The ambulances arrived at 1:05 p.m. 3 critical patients, all from the same meeting. Paramedics suspected food poisoning. But this was different, faster, more severe. Sarah died in the ambulance at 1:18 p.m. Cardiac arrest. Her body couldn't handle the toxic assault combined with her autoimmune condition. 34 years old, 8 years climbing the corporate ladder. Dead before her promotion, David made it to the hospital. They treated him aggressively, but his heart had sustained too much damage. The chemicals had attacked his already stressed cardiovascular system. He died at 2:43 p.m., 41 years old. 10 years of top performance. Dead during the meeting that would have saved his division. division. Jennifer fought for 4 hours. They intubated her, pumped her with epinephrine and antihistamines. But the combination of allergic reaction and chemical poisoning was too much. She died at 5:19 p.m., 38 years old, career-defining campaign launch, dead before seeing the results. The investigation was massive. 3 executives dead at a corporate board meeting. FBI terrorism unit got involved immediately. Was this an assassination? Corporate espionage? They investigated Cardinal Financial Group, enemy companies, disgruntled employees, fired workers. Nothing. They investigated executive catering solutions. Patricia Vega was interviewed for 8 hours straight. Every ingredient tested, every preparation surface swabbed, her commercial kitchen inspected down to the molecular level. Everything was clean, proper, professional, until they tested the utensils. 1 spoon. Me, the same chemical signature. A federal agent recognized it immediately. The spoon from the Morrison case, the restaurant, the wedding, the hospital. How was I still in circulation? They traced me back. Evidence disposal facility, recycling center, restaurant supply company, executive catering solutions. A perfect storm of bureaucratic mistakes and cost-cutting measures. Nobody broke the law. The recycling center followed protocols. The supply company sold legitimate products. Patricia bought from licensed vendors. But I slipped through. Again, the deaths were ruled accidental, tragic, unforeseeable. Cardinal Financial Group settled quietly with the families. Non-disclosure agreements, undisclosed amounts. The company wanted it buried. Bad publicity, stock prices. They couldn't afford the scandal of 3 executives dying in their building. Executive Catering Solutions was destroyed. Even though Patricia was cleared, corporate clients dropped her immediately. Liability concerns, insurance issues. Nobody wanted to be associated with the catering company where 3 executives died. She went bankrupt within 6 months. Lost her business, her reputation, everything she'd built for 15 years. Gone. Sarah Mitchell's husband was left with 2 kids, ages 6 and 4. She was the primary breadwinner. He was a stay-at-home dad. Life insurance helped, but it wasn't enough. They had to sell their house, move to a smaller place. The kids don't understand why Mummy never came home from work. David Rodriguez's division was dissolved 3 days after his death. 40 employees laid off. They'd been depending on David's presentation to save them. He died mid-presentation. The restructuring happened anyway. His wife and 3 children were devastated. But so were 40 other families who lost their jobs because David died before finishing his pitch. Jennifer Park's marketing campaign actually worked. The results came in 2 weeks after she died. Massive success. 3 million in new revenue. 50% increase in brand awareness. It would have made her career. She would have been promoted to CMO, but she was dead. The company gave her credit posthumously, named an award after her. Cold comfort to her husband and their teenage daughter. Sarah had been 3 slides into a 20-slide presentation. She'd worked on it for 3 months. Every number verified, every projection vetted, every recommendation researched. It was brilliant. Her colleagues finished presenting it in her memory. The board approved everything. She got her promotion posthumously. Senior VP, her nameplate was installed outside an empty office. David's sales division had record numbers. Best performance in company history. His presentation would have shown that it would have saved 40 jobs. Would have gotten him promoted to regional VP. Instead, he died on slide 1. His division was dissolved. His team scattered. His funeral was attended by all 40 people he'd tried to save. Jennifer's campaign was studied at marketing conferences. used as a case study at business schools. The Jennifer Park method. She became famous in her field. After she died, she never knew, never got to see the success, never got promoted, never got the recognition she deserved while alive. I was seized as federal evidence again. High security facility. They weren't making the same mistake twice. I was placed in a maximum security evidence vault, climate controlled, monitored, logged. I sat there for 18 months until a new policy passed. Budget cuts. Evidence storage costs too much. Non-criminal cases get purged after 2 years. In September 2024, they finally destroyed me. Industrial Incinerator. 2,000 degrees. I was supposed to be ash, but somehow a piece survived. A fragment melted, deformed, but still contaminated. It ended up in industrial waste, sorted again, and the cycle continued. Sarah Mitchell had a vision board in her office, pictures of where she wanted to be in 5 years. Senior VP, corner office. Speaking at conferences, she'd achieved every goal she'd ever set. This promotion was the next step. She died 3 slides away from it. David Rodriguez coached his daughter's soccer team every Saturday morning. He never missed a game. The Saturday after he died, the team played without their coach. The kids dedicated the game to him. They won. He would have been proud. He wasn't there to see it. Jennifer Park's daughter was accepted to Stanford. Jennifer had been saving for tuition since her daughter was born. 18 years of planning. Her daughter got the acceptance letter 3 days after her mother died. Jennifer had promised to be there on move-in day, help decorate the dorm room, meet the roommate. Her daughter moved in alone. Her father couldn't afford to go. The money was gone on funeral costs. I remember that conference room, floor-to-ceiling windows, 15 stories up, view of the entire city. I remember the professional atmosphere, suits and ties, polished presentations, corporate excellence. I remember Sarah's confident voice for those first 3 minutes. She was good. She knew her material. She would have nailed it. I remember David standing up to help. Cardiac arrest took him down. He died trying to help someone else. I remember Jennifer frantically pointing at her purse, unable to speak, unable to breathe, dying while her colleagues searched for her epi. I remember the confusion, the panic, the moment when executives realized this wasn't just someone feeling sick, this was death. In their conference room, during a meeting. I remember the presentations that never finished, the promotions that never happened, the lives that ended mid-set and 3 people died doing their jobs, presenting to their bosses, trying to advance their careers, killed by catered lunch. If you work in an office, check your catered food. Where does it come from? How is it prepared? What utensils do they use? Are they new, sealed, or recycled? Sustainable, because I was marketed as eco-friendly, recycled, good for the environment. And I killed 3 people at a corporate lunch meeting. Hit that like button if this confession affected you. Comment below if you've eaten catered food at work. And subscribe, because next week, Spoony's Confession number 7. The cruise ship buffet. 5 deaths. Middle of the ocean. No escape. See you in the next confession. Check your corporate catering.